Welcome to the Sisters Uncensored podcast, where we get into everything from childhood trauma to millennial adulting and all things in between. We share crazy stories from the past and present to help us cope with the insanity that is our lives. By sharing our perspectives, we hope to bring some relatability, laughter, and unsolicited advice that can help you survive the messiness of life along with us. My name's Jessica Labita. I'm a millennial mom, wife, and marketing professional, and I am absolutely insane. My name is Ashley Lanieve. I am a millennial stay-at-home mom, avid golfer, and too mouthy for my own good. We are real sisters, and this is Sisters Uncensored. Take this trip with us. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Sisters Uncensored. Today, we have a special Halloween episode where we're bringing tarot card reader Angela Lucy. She has been featured on MTV's Jersey Shore. She's been on CBS News. She's been on CBS Sports Radio, ABC News, Sports Illustrated, countless other media outlets, published in all kinds of magazines. And we're so excited to talk to you today.
Nice seeing you again, ladies. Happy Halloween.
Yay!
It's the season.
So we have so many questions for you just generally before we kind of get into things. We would love to hear more about how you started doing all of this.
Okay, actually, I was in college and I had a roommate, Mary Ann, and she was always encouraging me to have a tarot reading. And so when I did my semester abroad in London, I had a tarot reading, found it super helpful and accurate, and just was, floored by it. So I moved to New York and I continued to have readings periodically. And then I'm an English literature major. So when I was looking at the cards, I always want to know the symbols and the meanings and everything. So I bought myself a deck and a book, and I just slowly taught myself to read. And then I would just slowly read for other people, and you started to charge people, and I've always done it on the side for many, many years. But now for the last 12, 13 years, I've been doing it full time.
Wow, interesting. That's really
cool.
cool.
It's just this fascinating means of mediumship, really, because it's a 78 cards. It's always, a tarot is always 78 cards. It's really a book, and each card is a book, is a page of the book. So when you put it out in different order, it tells a different story every time.
Interesting.
So, it's fascinating.
And so, how does it work, behind the scenes? Who or what, I guess, is making this happen?
Oh, okay. You mean in a spiritual way?
Yes.
Well, me personally, I'm sure every reader will have a different answer for you. I try to work as closely as I can with Archangel Michael, and he's the guy that threw Lucifer out of heaven, the guy with the big sword.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So, but he uses that sword also for the sword of truth, so to speak, and clarity, and cutting through the BS.
Okay, yeah.
So I like to work with, I always work with light. Some people don't. They like to work with dark. You have to have dark if you're going to have light, and vice versa. So that's their choice. But I feel like that's where the information comes from, especially when I'm stuck. I believe everyone has intuition, including you guys. It's just a matter that I practice more. It's like I always use the analogy, if you worked in a perfume factory, okay, you would know, what, that's roses, that's jasmine, that's daisies. You and I would have to struggle. Oh, I don't know what that smell is. But you just practice more.
Okay.
And so I believe everybody has the sense. So a lot of times people ask me, when did you know you had your gift? And I'm like, everybody has it. Who's on the other line when the phone rings, right? And little things like that. Everybody has it. I just practice more.
Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting perspective of it. I didn't really think about it that way. It's kind of your gut. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a lot of just.
Yeah. And it's just that the more I read it, when I started out, I had a book. It was called Tarot for the Apprentice, aptly named, right? By Eileen Connolly. And really what she was doing was showing you how to use your intuition, how to do a guided meditation into each card, how to let yourself go. And I always say, shorthand, get out of the way of the cards. Let the cards talk to you. When they come up, just say what's happening, say what's going on. Don't think and try to use the front of your brain, use the back of your brain.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. What about people who, from say a religious perspective, people, and I'm sure you get confronted with this from time to time, right? What are your thoughts on this?
That's really funny because someone mailed me this morning. I was like, who is this letter from? It was like a personal letter from Illinois from someone I have no idea. And they sent me some religious material in a thing like, to convert me.
Oh, interesting.
I grew up in Catholic school. I went to Catholic school till I was 18 years old, and I consider myself a Roman Catholic.
Okay.
It's not permitted in the religion. But that's I don't think you can kind of unlearn that. So no, I'm a Christian Catholic. Like I said, I work with Archangel Michael. He's in the Old Testament and the New Testament. He's in Hinduism. He's Indra with the big bow and arrow. So that's kind of where, if people confront me with it, I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I've never had any being terrible, like you're, voodoo prank, you're dark. I said, I don't work with dark. You can work with dark if you want to. You can get an Aleister Crowley deck and go to certain other bookstores in New York that will help you with that, but it's just not my thing.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no, not our thing either.
Not my thing. I'll tell you that much. Keep that shit away from me.
I'll tell you what, though. I think
it definitely exists. It's.
I believe it.
There. It's like angels. You have to have demons, right?
Yeah, I think there's also sometimes, people I think believe in this if it suits their mentality of what it should suit. Meaning, I'm a Christian, and there's people who talk about prophets, what I mean, who see the same thing, you know what I mean? And God talks to them, or angels talk to them, or whatever, spirits are talking to them, and they're relaying that information. So I see it as similar, you know what I mean?
In Judaism, they always talk about the prophets in the Old Testament, probably a little more than the New Testament. But I was watching, I don't know if you guys are watching The Chosen. It's a series.
Oh, yes.
TV.
Totally.
I love it. It's great. But they were the Jews pre-Christ or during Christ's time when he's Jewish, obviously. And they're talking about, the prophet said this, and they're even quoting the prophets that say Jesus is coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, and he said it was going to be this, and he was going to come into Jerusalem on a donkey, and it's like, they're fulfilling their own prophecies. So it's really interesting.
Right. So that's my point, is that people have been doing this for thousands of years. You know what I mean? I just think that sometimes people can get a bad rap for it, mainly because they're doing, like you said, dark shit, or they're just exploiting it and trying to make money or something like that, and they're not.
There are people, and it is illegal in New York City technically to do soothsaying, and people say, don't you think that's a terrible thing, it should be legal? And I'm like, no, it shouldn't. Because there are some bad practitioners that will steal all your money and tell you bad things, and they have to have something on the books to charge them with. Right. So I'm just, the way I do my business is just hourly rate. I might as well be a hairdresser, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other people are. You're going to do the spells, and that's up to you if you want to do that. But there's some unscrupulous people.
It's interesting. When we first met, I got a sense from you that you were a Christian and that you were religious. You give off a positive aura, positive light. Yeah, and I don't know. For me, that made me more comfortable, because sometimes with this stuff, I am a little nervous, not so much skeptical, right? I fully believe, and I think that's why it could be scary, especially when you talk about the fact that there are dark practitioners out there and things. And so when you're at an event like we were and you don't know the person, you don't know what you're gonna get, right? And it can be scary. Yeah. So it was,
if you're not familiar with your person, you might want to be a little, take everything with a grain of salt, see what happens. See how that feels with you.
Yeah.
People are usually pretty smart.
Yeah.
I agree.
And, they know. And it's but a lot of times people will fight me on my answers. Hey, I tell them what's going to happen. And I'm like, no, this is going to, and they're like, you're, no, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're totally wrong. And, I do get the blowback on that. And then, of course, they called me back a few months later. Everything you said was true.
I was going to say, nobody wants to hear bad news. Nobody wants to hear bad news. So I'm not surprised.
It's like, oh, no, this isn't how it is. And I'm like, okay, I throw my hands up.
Yeah.
You know, there was one in particular I remember it was a party and this woman gave me, and I felt bad about the reading because I just couldn't get her to acknowledge that anything was right. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was saying, no, this isn't going to work out. And your boyfriend's going to, I don't see this happening. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. We're buying a house together. We're so happy and da-da-da-da-da. And I just couldn't get any hit. It was so bad that I remembered it. And so months and months later, somebody leaves me a beautiful review. And I was like, who the heck is this? And I said, I have no idea who this person is. And then I looked and I was like, what name is this? And I was like, oh, she was saying how great and how I knew everything. And then she called me for another reading. So it is kind of funny.
Wow. Interesting.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Like, sorry. I mean, I felt so bad, but I was like, I can't say what's not in the cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
It turned out that she broke up with her boyfriend and they sold the house and it was, horrible things. I'm sorry it was true, but.
Yeah. But it was what it was. If that's what you saw, that's what you saw. Have you ever had anything really weird come through or any weird type of readings?
Weird, I don't know. Just things that are unexpected, not so much weird. Well, sometimes it's like, I'm like, wow, I'm really surprised at this. Or who are all these people? Last night, as a matter of fact, I was like, what's with all this marriage stuff? I kept getting every marriage card in the deck. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I don't know, but it's like marriage. She was asking about her love life. And she got up from the table and said, well, thank you, but whatever. And I was like, so, okay. So she talked to her boss or something, says, so-and-so, your best friend that's so interested in you, he was confiding in me that he wants to marry you. And it was like so fun. So she comes running back. It was so funny.
Oh, that's funny.
That was. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Marriage. I'm like, marriage everywhere.
That's crazy.
So it was really funny.
All right. So how do you want to do this with us going forward? Do you want to do a tarot reading? Okay.
And I have my deck with me. I also have I think you mentioned you wanted to talk to people from beyond.
Yes.
When I passed away.
Yeah.
I have an app, believe it or not. I have an app for that.
I know. I remember you saying that.
I remember that too. That's right.
That's funny. And it's called, it's called iOvilus. And you can just buy it online. I think it's $6 or something. But sometimes it will allow people to talk through by typing words. Sometimes the spirit does want to do that. Sometimes they don't. So we can work with that if you'd like. I always make sure that it's only people of light that are coming through.
Yep.
Just don't want to open up portals that, that are messy.
Yes. No.
So,
No, keep that shit away.
And we can also people, if they don't, some spirits like to talk and they'll babble. And I was like, what's this? It's like, I don't know, but they're just talking. And other times they just don't want to talk. But then we can also use the cards to communicate with other people beyond and beyond.
Interesting. Okay.
So however you guys, or if you have questions that you want to ask me about yourself or the show or what's going to be happening, you can certainly do that too. I'll leave it to you.
What?
I don't know. I'm just looking at you. Okay. So do we want to try to talk to Grandpa?
Yeah. Let's start with that.
Okay. So you have, and you guys are sisters, of course. So
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Alfred.
Great name, right? Okay, so I will just do it just for interest for you and your viewers. It looks like this, and
Oculus on.
Can't ask that only entities of light are permitted to speak through this device. Okay, and if anybody wants to use that, please say that beforehand, just to make sure no bad guys can come through. Okay. Okay, Alfred. I have your granddaughters here. They have a podcast, and they want to know, is there anything in particular you want to ask Alfred?
What's he think? What's it like up there?
Let's see. Let's see what he thinks of the podcast. Has he been passed away for a long time or?
A couple of years.
Oh, years. So not 6 weeks, right?
No.
Okay. So, and if he talks, he will. I have an iOvilus here, Alfred. And you can talk through it. It's just like a phone, like you had in life. You can talk and type any words through it. My name's Angela, and you can type any words that you want to have come through to your granddaughters on this little device if you care to use it. Okay, but in the meantime, we can use our cards.
E.T.
He says,
Word.
he's saying ed, ed, and word, or ed. Erectile dysfunction. And word. That's 2 words. I don't know what that means, but it came through. Okay, Edward. Oh, Edward? No? Okay. All right, let's see what else he wants to say. Okay, shuffling, let me know when to stop by saying stop.
Is that us or him?
Oh, we have to say stop? Oh, sorry, stop.
Okay, stop.
I thought we were waiting on Grandpa.
Alfred, anything, Alfred, Grandpa, anything you want to say to your beautiful little granddaughters? On the highest positive forces to help me with this reading, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. Oh, he misses you. I get the lonely card. So I get the hermit card. I think he's a little confused about what we're doing.
That makes
That's
sense.
totally right.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's a little emotionally confused about that. Like, what is going on? And what else does he want to say? Oh, is his wife already passed away also?
Not
No.
yet.
Okay,
looks
and
like
then I
it.
get who's with woman there, perhaps his mother.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, I kind of love that.
she's a really sweet kind of a person, kind of an emotionally nice person. So I get him. He's a little lonely, but he's like high from great grandma or whatever. So, and just a love card.
Get it
He just
together.
loves you. I think he just loved you, little girls running around for a while when you were little. You know, I just see him like he was like just he thought that was so cute. Now he's saying map, M-A-P. I don't know what that means. So I get Ed, word, and map. I don't know. Okay.
Interesting.
He's fine.
Yeah,
Just
write that
listen up.
down.
He's fine. I don't see him being any turmoil in any way. I get the Zen card. He's just like, doing this. He doesn't even seem to be doing too much spiritual work at this point. And I get him, he's going to start to do some more spiritual work to move forward in his development, in his spiritual development. Let me see if he has reincarnated yet. Have you reincarnated? I think he has 90% chance he has reincarnated, possibly as a woman and a much stronger person than, I don't know if he was a strong person or not in life, but it seems like he's reincarnated as a strong woman somewhere, probably in agrarian society, somewhere where I don't think he's in a big city anymore. He's, somewhere that's a little more agrarian. Anything else? He's doing well. He's doing well and he's comfortable. So this is just kind of a reassuring kind of a message for you. Nothing in particular. He's just, I get the Emperor card. He's wondering about the house. What about the house? His house?
Oh, maybe his house.
Yeah. He's like, what happened with the house? And then I get he says fear. So I don't know what that's about. Is anybody living in his house? What happened with it?
No, they sold their house.
Yeah, so his house has been sold, but he and his wife, prior to his passing, they were living in an apartment that was owned by our aunt. And my grandmother is no longer in that house. She's in like this nursing home facility.
Oh, there we go.
So I wonder if that's...
If he's afraid that she's like, why is she not in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though they divorced, I'm sure he's still, they had children together.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't divorce.
Divorce?
No.
Oh, okay. So she's still living, but not in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I hate to say it. I think he's kind of looking for her in the house. And it's because this is like, I'm stuck. I'm not sure where she is or something. And he's looking for her in that vibe. But no, Alfred, apparently she's in a nursing home, in a nice nursing home. So you can look for her there. And now maybe he'd be able to find her. Because it's just like, no, she's not in the house anymore. So he just seemed concerned with the house.
Huh.
I don't know why.
He was always a warrior.
Yes, he was always a warrior.
He had a lot of anxiety.
And people do get attached to those houses. It took my mother forever to get out of her house. So when she passed away, it was like I think it was more than a year. She was still in that house. I had the dream where she left, and I was like, now like this is so far. You've been in that house the whole time. It was like it was her time to leave.
Wow.
But not too much. He's here. Anything else you want to say, Alfred? Something about, are you guys married or something like that? about marriages?
She's married.
She's married. Something about your marriage, because this is the walking down the aisle, the marriage card.
He was at my wedding.
He was.
Okay, cool. Maybe a little stress about marriage now or something.
Is that me or you?
yeah.
It's got to be you. I'm not married.
Yeah, and then and a black-haired man perhaps coming in for Ashley. I don't know.
Ah,
Thinking about
jeez.
him.
I'm just kidding. Ah, gee.
Our grandpas are like, why aren't you married?
Ah,
so I do
that
get
sounds
to
right.
That does sound right.
follow up your marriages and stuff. Anything else you want to say through the eye ovilus, Alfred? No, he said a few things. He's just like, whatever, you know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It sounds like him.
Sounds about right.
I wonder if he's doing accounting. Just kidding.
Accounting?
He loves accounting.
An accounting person? That was the side of his brain. I get the Ace of Swords, all about clarity and making things clear.
Yeah, he was the logical one.
Yep, he was.
Yeah, that's just his brainiac. That's probably part of his soul too. Oh, and then just another message of love that he loves you.
Aw.
You know, I love you guys. Yes, I loved you doing accounting. That was one of those rare people that likes to do accounting. And because he liked to see that, he liked everything to be balanced. He liked to see the correct answer.
Makes sense.
He wanted everything to add up.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he's looking at the house. Like, what's going on? Where's my house?
They moved out of their house before he died.
I wonder if this has something more to do with the recent
Yeah, grandma's house.
and her just having a home
Yeah.
more than anything.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, because then I got the woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, is she okay? It's like, no, she's, and I told him she's in the nursing home. She's safe. And he seemed to be, okay, I get it.
For now.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well,
I mean,
Isn't
not
it-
kidding, but yes.
Yeah.
so anything else you want to ask him?
Who killed Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
You think he'd be interested in that? Yeah. Okay.
He would. Who's going to win the election?
Yeah. It was before he died. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein? All right, let's see what he says. Who killed Jeffrey Epstein? Shuffling, let me know when to stop.
Stop.
If you're going to want
Stop.
So I'll be with this reading. Son, Holy Spirit, amen.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Diddy.
It was a bunch of people. It was several people. It was a conspiracy. So like 7 people were involved in it. And it's all really well covered up because it's just like these people and they're all placing blame on if one tells, they'll tell on the other one. So no, there was a whole bunch. Ooh, and yes, who it was. Queen of Cups. Who has
Hillary.
Hillary.
I knew it.
What other woman that's kind of like looks a little like her?
Wow.
We're on to you,
I mean,
Hillary.
it was like 7 people, but she was,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Hillary. So you got the Clintons, the Obamas, the Pelosi's. Like, I feel like
easily
The Schumers.
He could have spilled the beans on. So,
Yes.
wow.
So no, but it was like you'll kind of never find out because there's too many pieces.
Wow.
They'll all kill each
Hillary
other.
was behind it.
Oh my God. That's
Thank you,
crazy.
Grandpa. We knew.
Thanks, Grandpa, for the compliment.
So he didn't kill himself. That's the point.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, it wasn't himself.
Definitely not.
Wow.
That was just a lot of people.
Well, it'll be interesting, I guess, to see.
Kind of interesting. Epstein's fine now. He's like, that was his little role to play. And they just say he's comfortable now. He's moving on to whatever else he's supposed to do next. You know, kind of interesting. Don't you always wonder, it's like, why do people who are bad, sometimes they absolutely have these amazing lives and the most miserable people in the whole world and they're terrible, and why? And because it's kind of like, it's a conundrum, right? Well, they're here to teach us lessons. Wouldn't it be boring if everybody was nice and everybody was, you wouldn't learn any lessons. You wouldn't learn how to, get past things. So actually, even though they're miserable, a lot of times that's their karmic thing to play out.
Yeah.
That all this wonderful stuff happened for them and they cause chaos and so that everybody else can learn their lesson.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's scary,
Yeah.
but it does make
Yeah.
sense.
Creepy.
It's crazy too how you see things are like almost repeating again with Hollywood right now and that whole Diddy thing.
Yeah, that'll be super interesting to see how that plays out.
That's
'Cause, I mean,
crazy.
now it's all coming to light. It's been going on for forever.
Oh yeah.
For a while, I was trying to do things in Hollywood, and I always was like blocked by that and blocked by it. And now I know why. It was like
thing.
years ago, and I was like, no, you wouldn't have known what hit you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
little
Wow.
Catholic schoolgirl.
Right. Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
Crazy.
All right, can we ask one more question?
Of course.
Who's going to win the election
Oh, is this for Grandpa or just in general?
for Grandpa and us?
Well, does Grandpa know?
Grid, who's gonna win the election? Okay, let's see. We'll do chances. Okay, chances that it's because of course there's so many people involved. Chances that it's Kamala. Chances that it's Trump. Okay, shuffling, and I've heard other alternatives too. Okay, shuffling. Ooh, everything's flying out. Wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean that this is the strength card like flying out. Okay, so I'm glad you're asking because I'm too emotionally attached to it. Okay, shuffling, let me know when to stop.
Stop.
The highest positive forces tell me with this reading, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and
Kamala, 30%. Trump, 80%.
Fuck yeah.
But actually, she's maxing out her possibilities. I'll tell you that. Because this is the Empress card. They're putting as much power behind her as they can. So that's
What other
an interesting
choice do
card.
they have?
It's
It
a
makes
very
sense.
Strong female card.
Yeah.
The Empress. Okay. But then when I say Trump, who's going to do a rally this afternoon too, at the same place where he was shot.
Yep.
80% chance, but it's kind of like it's got to be. This means like it's got to be this way because it's got to be this way because it's. So hopefully it means Trump will get in.
Yes. We're with you for that one. All right.
That's
good news.
And some stuff because I get an evil woman here. So.
Fucking Hillary once again.
He wasn't eligible to begin with. That's the last thing I heard that they're gonna say. Oh, he wasn't eligible. Like so, yeah, and then they say, yeah. So no, we really Kamala because he wasn't ever eligible.
Interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's come out, like even just this week, I've noticed where you see the games being played like within the news and.
What I thought was interesting, just to go off topic, was Biden coming out and saying how that he and Kamala ran the whole place hand in hand. She did everything exactly. He threw her under the bus.
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy.
I would delegate everything to Kamala.
Yeah.
It's really funny. He
Right.
came on the press conference where that's the first press conference he did in 4 years.
Yeah.
Literally.
Did that, which I thought was
Yes.
great.
And then you had the vice president debate.
That was good.
And then what else did you have? Oh, they unsealed all those court documents in trying to I think throw more mess into the mix to try to sway things one way or another, or people's thoughts one way or another.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, they'll do anything.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Me personally, I mean, again, we're off topic a little bit, but it's just, to me, it's a battle of good and evil.
It's exactly
I
what it
agree.
is.
Like, it's gotten to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be. But
No, it's
in the last
unfortunate.
Decade, it's like, no, wait a minute. And the illogic. Someone explained to me once, when things are illogical, that's evil. When you say something's illogical, it's like, oh, black is white. It's like, ooh, and you say it long enough, people believe black is white. That's the demonic stuff.
I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah, so it's so interesting. So I just love, to be so partisan, but I just love listening to Trump. He's like, says everything the way it is, for better or worse. He's saying, this is what we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. I like to hear the truth. Oh, so, Archangel Michael, he's my guy, so.
I love that. Yes.
And actually, just again, off topic, I've seen actually Archangel Michael walk into Donald Trump. Yeah. I've seen, it's like, I'm like, are you kidding? It was like, that was a long time ago. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of prophecies
In there.
about things around him.
And actually, Trump came out with he posted about during Michaelmas, which is Archangel Michael's day. He posted Michael, squishing the devil. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That that big painting of Michael's with the sword over the devil.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Angela. This was awesome.
Yes, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, and give me a call. I'll answer any questions you have for me in the future.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for doing this fun Halloween episode with us. Hopefully, hopefully everybody enjoys it. That's a good one. We want to just put out your information. So if anybody wants to reach out to Angela, you can reach her at tarotcardreaderangelalucy.setmore.com and Angela at tarot-cardreader.com. And you can find her on Instagram and yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I'm easy to reach. Tarot card reader Angela Lucy on Instagram. That's easy. And then there's a little book now. I'm very reachable.
Perfect. We love it. And we love that you're reachable to those outside of this realm as well.
The other side, too.
absolutely.
Oh, we forgot to say thanks to Alfred. Thank you, Alfred, for coming in. And I appreciate your participating in our little discussion.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll have to stay in touch and see what happens. I hope everything you've said today is what's true.
Me too. It was pretty good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Angela.
Bye.
Bye.